Welcome to Just In. I am your host, Adriana Lamar, here as usual with Sammy Wells and Tommy Scott. Today's episode is brought to you by Delicious Treats and Creative Prints by D. Thank you, D. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to talk about Matthew Stafford versus Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers' future in Green Bay, and Dallas at Tampa Bay. We'll be right back. All right, so the first topic we're going to talk about today is the question of Matthew Stafford versus Carson Wentz. How do these two players stack up against each other? Sam, do you want to start?
I'll let Tommy go.
He's shy. That's so sweet.
No, I'll let him go first. I'll let him go first this time.
All right.
This time. No, with Matthew Stafford and Carson Wentz, we're to a certain degree, I think we're looking at the same skill set, the same football player. Where not bad, not great, but definitely consistent and definitely quarterbacks that you can in fact win with. I think the differentiating factor for them is that Carson Wentz is still, settling into what his career is going to look like, as where Matthew Stafford is pretty consistent. We know what to expect. So for those two guys, it's just, it's going to depend on where you want. If you're in a position where, hey, we feel we've got a team that with this key player, we've got a shot at really getting over that hump, then, you go with Stafford. If you're in a spot where you're like, look, we've got a team to build on, but we're still not quite there yet. We need somebody that we can come in and that we can mold into what we need them to be, that has a skill set. Then you go with Wentz. I think that's the big difference between the two of them, is just a matter of whether you want the consistent now or moldable, because just the age factor, how long they've been doing it. That's you know Stafford's been here a lot longer, has a lot more experience. He's definitely not dried up. He can still play, that's for certain. And Carson Wentz, he's still got a future to build on, that's for certain. So yeah, just that's going to be the bigger difference. I mean, how that works out, you never know, because all it takes is one season, and quarterbacks, go from no name second strings to holding the Lombardi Trophy, and then 2 decades later holding it again for a completely different team. So it's there's always those possibilities and the oddballs out there, but that's what I see the big two key differences between those guys. So what do you think, Sam?
If I'm going to go ahead and talk about each on the two quarterbacks. But Matt Stafford, as far as what I can see, is that his quarterback rating is a 89.9. He has thrown over 45,000 yards, 282 touchdowns. And been with the Lions for 11 years. The only thing I have against Matt Stafford is that against winning teams, to this day, he's eight wins versus 67 losses. That's a concern to me. Now you can chalk it up to that. Yes, he's on the Lions. They did make Barry Sanders retire. They did force Megatron to retire. So, I mean, we could put all the blame on the Lions, but I think right now he's in a good position because he's with the Rams. He's with Sean McVay, who's proven to be a very creative call player, and he can be able to help Matt become a better player. So I think it was a good move for the Rams to do that. I still think Jared Goff is going to be on a, revenge tour this season to prove that he is a good quarterback. We'll see. Also for Carson Wentz, I'm just concerned about his health. Since he was MVP of the season, he was going to win MVP of the season in 2017. But ever since that time, his play has went down, and I'm thinking that it's more of injury and he's just playing through it. Because yes, Carson Wentz did lead the Eagles to a playoff game, but then he got injured in that playoff game in the first quarter. So, and then they draft Jalen Hurts. So, what it's it's kind of like ruining his confidence. And I don't know if you're ruining his confidence, then his play is not going to be that great, because he was great in 2017. I mean, great. But now that they pair him up with his coach that helped him in 2017, I think that he has a good chance of coming back and bringing that MVP. I'm just glad that he's in the AFC and not in the NFC East.
Sounds about right. One slight clarification on the record against winning teams. More specifically, that's the record against teams that finish the season with a winning record. Meaning there's a group of teams that when he beat them, they have a winning record.
Mm-hmm.
So stats are always a little misleading when just depending on how they're done and why they're done that way.
Well, as far as going by the stats, going by the numbers, just not going by eye test or anything else, just going by records, he has won 8 games versus winning teams, and that's really concerning to me.
So what's the same stat for Carson Wentz?
For Carson Wentz,
Carson Wentz hasn't played in that many games,
and he only played in one playoff game, and he got injured in that one. But I mean,
if I was to summarize, Sam, you feel like Matthew Stafford really has something to prove this season, whereas Carson Wentz it's really about gaining his confidence back and getting back to where he was, a handful of years ago.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel that Matthew Stafford's in a better position. I think Carson Wentz is in a good position. He's going back to his old coach that helped him back in 2017. So both, they may have good years as far as the they may have he may have a good year, this upcoming season. But Carson Wentz against winning teams. Let's see.
10-21.
10-21. Well,
yep.
There you go.
10 wins, 21 losses.
Well, there you go.
So even if he completely stopped doing well, he'd still be ahead of Matt Stafford. So
yeah. I mean, you can depend on him. I mean, you see, Carson Wentz is not a bad quarterback. I don't know what happened last year, but he did lead the Philadelphia Eagles to a playoff game that he got injured in, but he had to win 3 division games, and he won them with backups.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he has it. It's just, I don't know what happened last year. Like I said, they drafted Jalen Hurts, and maybe that got into his psyche, and you the one player that you need confident on the team, especially your offense, is your quarterback. So, I mean.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's take a break. We'll come back and talk about another quarterback, Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay.